All right. So yeah, we are live on YouTube. If anyone ends up liking or preferring to watch there, I got the link for you. If not, no stress. Let me pop out that chat, and we will get to our next steps. All right, so first, I need more water. So the part we kind of left off on was me getting a little bit hangry about it. Felipe, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I think I was just pretty hungry as I was ending yesterday and should have ended a bit sooner just to get mistaken me. But yeah, the basic gist seems like we can still use Grafana. And they absolutely have ways that we can send them the data because of these things living within their cloud. So, yeah. We can send metrics to Mimir, we can send logs to Loki, and we can send traces to Tempo. And then profiles is for performance stuff, which I don't think we're taking necessarily from OTLP at the moment, right? Just traces, metrics, and logs. Profiles are a separate thing. What we end up needing to do is we kind of need to just configure some of the stuff within our config.yaml, right? So we've got protocols, right? gRPC, HTTP, that's how we receive data. But then our exporters, right now we're just doing debugging, that prints out to the command line. File, I think, is actually way less relevant. But we would want to create separate exporters for, you know, traces, metrics, and logs, right? One for each of those services we just mentioned. So yeah, that makes sense to me. So yeah, free trial with unlimited usage. Trial ends on March 31st. So we got basically 2 weeks to use all this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to sign up and pay for it and then kill the account when we're done with it. Which I think works. Or maybe it's fully usage-based and, you know, if I just stop sending data, then we're good to go there too. I believe that would be the case. So we get a traces backend, a logs backend. Mimir is another thing we gotta add. Why don't I see it? So where do I end up adding that? We're limited to 1 stack. How do I add another service to that stack? What's up, Krasner? And how's it going, Joseph? How you doing over there? Yeah, thanks for the chat over on YouTube. So yeah, right? And again, I'm really hoping Felipe shows up today because I feel bad about getting a bit, like, frustrated and hangry towards the end yesterday. That was my fault. Sorry for everyone else that was turned off by that too. I'd like to blame the whiskey, but I really think it was just, number one, I was getting frustrated at the process and misunderstanding things along the way, which is more frustration. And then also I was just pretty hungry, I think. So one thing, right, when we click send metrics, that's just like where we go and set these things up. And then, yeah, I would have to maybe set up the exporter for this. I want to make sure I don't show some password junk. All right, perfect. So yeah, we're going to have to make sure we don't share a bunch of password style stuff. Oh. Oh. Anyone ever heard of DreamHack? I just got a free influencer ticket. I applied to it months ago and totally forgot about it. How much is a festival pass? Hold up. I think it's a streamer thing then, right? Right? Like having Tyler 1 on the cover. Get your badges today. How much are they? Okay, they're like $100. Yeah, I can't share that. But yeah, the content creator pass. I guess, did they list that? These are single day. But yeah, cool. That's awesome. I forget what it all entails, but awesome. That could be cool. Okay, so it's not terribly expensive, which is nifty. So you're in a Halo 5 tourney they were sponsoring. That was a few years ago. You still have your MS badge from that tourney. You'll never do it again, but you're the only one there that could legally drive. That's actually kind of funny. Ooh, guaranteed seating? Ooh, that sounds kind of nice. Yeah, what all happens at DreamHack? I guess just a bunch of tournaments. IEM. Oh, we saw that below. ESL, Esports League. Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, I'll have to sign up for that. Yeah, cool. So yeah, May 31st to June 2nd. Probably make that happen. All right, so yeah, back to what we're doing. We've got the Prometheus instance. How do we end up adding something to this stack? Wait, hold on. So Prometheus is a metrics thing. Loki is a logging thing. Why don't I see Mimir? Oh, and hold on. Maybe that's it. That's what I was missing, right? So really, yeah, if you're going to Grafana Cloud, there's Loki, Tempo, and then for metrics, there's Prometheus, or what was the other one we saw? Graphite. Okay. I find it strange that this seems out of date. Because Mimir isn't even like an option. I know there's other stuff you can add to this, but how do you do that? Yeah, maybe they've just removed Mimir and haven't updated anything? That's it. So it's probably included in their Prometheus package. That's my current guess. Right, so it's like wrapped up into Prometheus. I just think it's weird that they're not showing that in their image right here. But I think I get it. All right, and yeah, we're definitely not going to be sending it like yesterday. Right, like Irish Christmas style. But we might have a beverage here in a minute. Gotta pace ourselves. I think the big thing is we want to start actually configuring these providers. So let's go look at the OpenTelemetry exporter list, which I might have a thing for. I don't think we're going to need Zipkin. I don't think we're going to need Jaeger. OpenCensus doesn't matter. Awesome OpenTelemetry. All right, so this is probably where they might have like a bunch of exporters listed. Yes. List of supported exporters. Right, and it's this list. Okay, so that's part of the contrib, which means we shouldn't need to install any of these. All right, so we see Mesmo, we see the Prometheus exporter. Cool. What were the other two? Loki and Tempo. Loki, nice. And tempo, do we see it? No. And hey, what's up, MetaJezza? Been a little bit. How you doing? Double check work real quick. Yeah, no one really reaching out there. Cool. You're all good, just chilling? I am chilling too. I feel like, I don't remember seeing you last week. If you were here, my bad. I definitely forgot about it. But, yeah, last week I started at GitKraken for my new job. I am a developer advocate. This is my first role as a dev advocate. Pretty pumped on it. Yeah, that's fine. Just wasn't sure if you were here for the announcement. And hey, what's up, Marshmallow? Yeah, GitKraken. Yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah, gotta really start thinking about, like, content to make. I think I've done a really good job of analyzing and understanding some of the products enough that I've got like even like product suggestions of things that would improve it and how they could work. Oh, you do? Oh, if you're willing to share that info, I'd love to chat with you more about it. You don't have to do it here or anything like that, but if you're willing to, you know, do like a little one-on-one, kind of just call and to know like how y'all are using it, what you would benefit from for like I don't know, we do like little like webinar type things where we're trying to shout out like various features as like a session where there's like a Q&A and everything too. Happy to get you involved in any of those. But yeah, even like pain points or things that it doesn't do well enough for you. I'd love to know that. Like, did you know there's a CLI tool? I think that's new to a lot of people. Gotcha. So you don't use it yourself, but people on your team like it? Gotcha. And I'm guessing you're more CLI focused. Have you tried the CLI tool? And no is a totally fine answer. I'm not going to get into marketing mode right now. So here's the thing. Even using our CLI tool, it doesn't like abstract away Git for you. You'd still be using the Git commands yourself, but then like the CLI would then give you things like workspaces and being able to see like all of your PRs from your terminal instead of having to go out to GitHub for it or something, right? It even allows you to set up a workspace where you could look at all of your PRs across multiple repos, which could be useful. So yeah, could be worth trying out. Like there's a thing called Focus View where you can visualize PRs, issues, all that directly from your terminal. It's using Charm Bracelet for like the UI elements and stuff. So yeah, worth checking out. If you're paying for the suite already as a company, like you've already got it, could be cool. Again, you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't want to do it. I don't care. Like, whatever. My goal is content creation, not sales. there you go. Yeah, worth a shot. I think you can also try it, like, if any of the repos you're trying to do that with are public, I think you could get away with even just doing a trial if you want, just to see how it looks. But if it's all private, then yeah, that's where, like, the pro license and all that comes in. So, just figured I'd throw that your way. And no stress if not. Does anybody on your team end up using things like cloud patches? Because the CLI tool would be a way of interacting with those too, as an option. No, that's fine. Yeah. I was just gonna throw it out there, like, if you had some public stuff to mess with, you could at least fiddle with it that way. But if you guys do use cloud patches, just the CLI tool to interact with those as well would be pretty interesting. Don't know what a cloud patch is. So think of it as like a more ephemeral branch, right? Like, say you want to work on something and get some feedback on it without going through the effort of creating a full-on branch within your, Git provider, right? GitHub or whatever. Instead, you can create a cloud patch that allows people to comment and do various things like that without going through the rigmarole of, like, your whole CI/CD steps and things like that. And I think cloud patches, I might be wrong on this. Cloud patches might even be like, you could stage things between multiple repos into a cloud patch, which would be really interesting. I haven't done that, so I could be wrong on that part. I haven't used them enough either. I'm only a week in, so yeah, I don't have the experience of trying to use all of these things for projects. But I probably should at some point. I know one really common use case people have is they create like a cloud patch of work they were doing on their work machine, and then maybe they use that cloud patch on their dev machine at home, and it's an easier way of transferring some of that working state instead of making a branch for it and everything too. Again, because you might not even be ready to make a branch and kick off CI/CD and all that junk. Just thought, I don't know. I think one of the more important aspects that they've been really like making sure people know is that you can like comment and do all that stuff without needing to like do a PR for commenting, right? If you're not even ready for a PR yet, and you don't want to pollute like, the PR process with work in progresses, then you could actually get like feedback on what you're doing before even making a PR for it. Yeah, basically like a work in progress thing, but without necessarily polluting your like PR look, like view or whatever. Possibly Marshmallow, yeah. It's like a draft PR that you can comment on and do all like what you would with a PR, but without actually putting it in the same like part of your provider's workflow, right? So if you're using GitHub to make a comment on someone's branch, it needs to be a PR for all of that like process. You can do comments and things before even doing that part. And I think another major use case is not all organizations are using GitHub or Bitbucket or things that have that like same workflow. They might be doing their own just self-hosted Git. If you want to do the cloud patch thing, then yes, you need to be on GitKraken, right? So you need a license for that. Basically, anything that uses GitKraken's cloud is a pro feature. And cloud patches, just based on their name, is obviously a cloud thing. And, that makes sense, right? The cloud costs money to operate. Whereas You know, if you're doing it on a public repo with your own like local workspaces and stuff like that, and it doesn't cost us anything other than just like we're working on the product anyway, yeah, we don't need to charge you for that. I think that's the main gist. So yeah, if it's something that involves the cloud, that involves actual like overhead for us too. And that's where we, you know, we'd want to charge you for those features. It's worth a shot, yeah. It's worth a shot, you know, just up to you. I'd say if you already have GitKraken, try fiddling with it a bit first. But there's also just like a trial period that you might be able to convince a couple people up to. Yeah, awesome, Space Case. Sweet. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, so it looks like we just used the raw OTLP exporter, right? There's nothing special about the tempo part. So I think I get that now. Okay. And then we just configure OTLP as the exporter for the trace. Word. Yeah. So that happens basically out of the box. So we just want to go do something like this. We would end up needing to do auth. So I'm going to get a bunch of these things kind of just configured first before we do that part. And yeah, no worries, Space Case. Let me send one more thing here. Sorry, let me just send this one thing to Word. And yeah, hold on. So, you follow many projects on GitHub. Can GitKraken help you track all the ongoing issues? Absolutely, for that's what's known as a workspace. And if they're public, then that's on the free tier even. So yeah, public and local workspaces, totally fine. Private repos are the only thing that would be like a paid feature for that. Technically, you can even track repos across different providers. You could have a GitLab repo and a GitHub repo, all within the same like issues view, or like workspace view, technically. And yeah, email just no longer works. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, I'd be really curious about your feedback. And see, this is the main reason why I don't think anyone would be bummed on me streaming. I'm actually talking to real developers and users even right now. Right? Like there is so much value to just, bam, right? Being out here and able to chat about it. So yeah, I would question every single bit of leadership if they pushed back on my streaming hours. And I've already chatted with most of the people that would care at all, and yeah, like there's no issues about me streaming like this. No, and I get it. That's fine, 4-wheel. I'm not worried about that. Users are users, right? The more people that are pumped on this product, the more often you might not even try to, but end up convincing someone that it's worth using. So yeah, man, like, users are users. I know they want to drive sales. I want to drive usership, because I believe that's the part of the funnel that's the most important. OpenTelemetry? Telemetry. Oh, there you go. You're right. Hold on. Let me fix that. That's one I do all the time, too. So, yeah, good call. That's like the get commimped error. Yeah, right? Even if it's only on your personal stuff, you being stoked on it, you basically become like an evangelist for it, right? Yeah, you have to have users to get sales. I totally agree. Can GitKraken send all this to mobile? That I don't think so. I don't think there's a mobile app yet. But that would be some pretty good feedback. That'd be some really interesting feedback. There used to be a mobile app? Oh. Yeah, I'd say if they made like a more like focused mobile app for like things like the focus view and workspaces, without necessarily doing every other feature, I think that would be worthwhile. Right? Like just GitKraken Focus View is the app name instead of just GitKraken. I could see like smaller applications being worthwhile. Yeah, like how often are you going to want to do merge conflict and code review on your phone? Meh. Right? But at least just having a dashboard you can pull up on like what's in progress and what isn't, that'd be huge. So let me put it this way. There is gitkraken.dev, which is a web interface, which I think would then be the mobile aspect. I'm not sure if they're focusing on mobile responsiveness yet. I haven't used that product at all yet. And it's still very much like beta, right? Or even like pre-beta. It's like pre-release. I don't think it's a problem that I mentioned it. But yeah, there is a web version of what is in the desktop as well. Or it's not every feature yet, but the goal is to have a centralized place for all that. Yeah, for sure. Yep, let me know if you run into issues or anything there too. And I think that's actually the smartest thing, right? If they make the web version really good, a mobile app becomes way less important, right? As long as it's mobile responsive. But yeah, thank you all for this chat. Like, man, I really appreciate it. It's like I'm working without having to work. Y'all are making my job way easier. All right, so yeah, our next step is really we want to wire up all these endpoints. I'm not a salesman, but I am a salesman. Right? I'm not a handyman, but I am a handy man. Right? That's the quote I was referencing. That sounds like a Jay-Z lyric. That's from that one show. What does a developer advocate do? It's a very broad term. Developer advocate is basically a portion of developer relations. And even then, right, developer relations is a very broad thing. It's almost like a department. Right? So a developer advocate, or a DevRel. DevRel itself is a category, and within that category, you might have people focused on community, such as organizing meetups, sponsoring meetups, managing the Discord channels, things like that, right? You may have people who are focused on products and actually like maintaining SDKs, right? That's another part of it. And then you may just have people whose sole role is creating content, such as blog posts and videos and, you know, giving talks at conferences. My role is purely focused on content, less so on conferences, but, you know, the goal is YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, blog posts, etc. What is DevRel.com? I wonder if this is actually a good site. Yeah, 3 types of DevRel. Yeah, so there's like the 3 pillars, right? So DevRel, also known as developer relations or developer advocacy, is a role that exists at developer tool companies, right? So it's a thing where like your customer is a developer, right? Your main target customer is actually a developer. So at that point, you need someone doing marketing type stuff that understands the developer perspective instead. Or at least makes content focused on that. So yeah, this is actually a pretty decent article about what is DevRel. So yeah, community, content, or product. And I should really make a command for that. Do we have one? We do. Oh. I think that Swix one is probably fine. I think content was less of a thing until COVID. It was definitely big, it was important, but you'd see people focusing on meetups and presentations at conferences and things like that, more so than the content side of things. In a post-COVID world, content lives longer than a meetup talk, right? Content has a broader reach than a meetup talk. In that way, right? I think technically I love a good meetup talk because it's more personal. You get a chance to actually chat with people after the talk as well. So, right, quantity isn't always like the number one thing to focus on, right? A meetup talk, in my opinion, is more about quality than quantity. Right, as far as like the connections you make with it. So I don't think you want to completely ignore meetup talks. I don't think you want to completely ignore conferences. But do you want to ignore organizing meetups? A little bit, yeah, right? Do you want to avoid sponsoring conferences? Sure. If you get accepted as a speaker at a conference, that's free, you know? That costs you nothing other than the time it takes to do it. Improving DX? No. Like, my role for this company is not focused on the product, like writing code for that. That was actually a big thing they wanted to emphasize when I was interviewing, that writing code is not really a part of this. Like, I do need to have projects and things that I can use as examples for why, right? As examples for content for things. But yeah, writing SDKs or things like that is really not in line with what they want in this role right now. I'm pretty sure I could convince them otherwise eventually, because I think they would benefit from a plugin ecosystem for a whole bunch of their products. At which point, part of my role might actually be making demo integrations for things. Stuff like that. But we're not there yet. And I haven't talked to anybody deeper about that. So, no idea how they would interpret or feel about that stuff. I even think the CLI would be really amazing as just like a library in which you don't necessarily get the full visual of anything like our CLI does, visualizing with Charm Bracelet, etc. But as just a library that gives you some of this data to interact with our API that to interact with the API, you probably need an API key or some way of logging in and getting an ephemeral key, like an auth key. Any of that stuff, right? It means that you're already a customer, and it's not like you could bypass what we're doing using our stuff as a library. It's just a way of getting what we're doing into something that maybe we didn't even imagine or think about. So let's say you just have some internal dashboard or tooling at your company. If we could actually export what we're doing with our CLI as a library that you can bring into your own code base, that massively opens up the ability of a company to adopt it into their own workflows. So I think that would be really cool. It would also mean that we could visualize that stuff inside of other editors pretty easily in some way, such as NeoVim. So yeah, I think there's a lot of these things that I haven't really dove into as a discussion. I've got a lot of them in a notes file from my first week, but some of these things I haven't really put in the effort to see who I need to talk to try and push some of this stuff along. And yeah, hold on. Sorry, someone asked a question that I want to make sure I respond to. Where was it? Are they also involved in Zoom seminars? Yeah, like webinar type stuff. Yep, yeah, we're gonna be doing a webinar basically next month. And I'm helping plan that out for GitLens. We already do some for the GitKraken client or desktop, and then we're just now starting to think about doing it for GitLens itself. If anyone wants to register for those, I should have a link here eventually pretty soon. Yeah, good DX eventually means good UX. Yeah, for sure. You're doing that at your internship. It's been great. You're on front-end enablement, creating a dashboard to visualize your design system usage by devs internally. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get just some of the basics here. So exporters, Prometheus, whoa. That is a lot. We're gonna wanna configure a bunch of this junk. All right, so OTLP, Prometheus, Loki. Oop. Yeah, let's separate these a little bit. Oh, I haven't watched the new Loki season yet. Yeah, no spoilers. I liked the first one. Really enjoyed it. I think that was my favorite like show that they've made for any of them. Moon Knight was pretty good though. Yeah, Oscar Isaac is a phenomenal actor. He really cares. Yeah, season 2 I think just came out. Like within the past couple months. Ah, okay. Yeah, I've only seen season 1, Space Case. So yeah, season 2, I think is somewhat recent, right? Or is it older than I thought and I've been slacking? It is recent, but you watched it like piecemeal. Yeah, I can't do that. I've done that with a couple shows, and I really hated it. I've been doing that with Invincible, right? Like the most recent season, and I hate it. Loki S3 is Grafana stuff, right? Yeah, totally. That just makes sense. Duh. Duh. Yeah, that's funny. Could you imagine when people start Googling for Loki S3? Which they're gonna be doing, and they get this Grafana stuff? What is that? We found it! Oh man, like hidden data, man. You gotta hit their database to see what's happening in Loki Season 3. They leaked it! Yeah, when season 3 is actually like planned and announced, it'll totally, like the Loki like metrics tool thing will totally disappear from results, which is kind of funny. All right, you'll have to do Loki logs S3. All right, so we got the gist of the Loki one, the Prometheus one, and the other one was Tempo. I wonder, like, what would be the process for doing a second OTLP, right? Like, what if you wanted to use the raw OTLP exporter with tempo and something else? How would you label that properly? We don't have to worry about it right now, but it's still something to think about. So yeah, I guess the basic gist, and I probably want to move this all the way to the right, because, yeah, this is our actual dashboard. This is where I need to start setting up some stuff. So if we go look at send metrics for the Prometheus thing, we could do basic auth, I guess. We need to look at the Prometheus exporter for that, right? Just to see what they support. So endpoint is required. There is no default. From there, they have a TLS config. But we should probably be able to do basic auth. Ooh, and it shows us the ones we got enabled. So I can get rid of a bunch of these. Oh wait, hold on. Can I not? Oh, it's part of the core. Ah, so I can't turn off influx. Okay. Interesting, I can't opt out of that, but okay. Wow, there is a lot of stuff. So hold on. Self-hosted Mimir, which we don't want. So I bet there's a way of wiring up the collector this way. Okay, so I think we've got all the boxes checked. We need to actually start thinking about auth. OpenTelemetry, collector, exporter, auth. So yeah, you can do TLS, and that would probably be a really good idea. I'm not sure how we'd wire that up to Grafana right now, though. Let's double check the config. But I guess I'm wondering, right, we see headers authorization there. I mean, bare minimum, we can set these up. So yeah, tempo here is for traces. Let me double check that part. Tempo is for traces. All right, and oh, I did that in the wrong one. Whoops. Nope, not tempo. OTLP. And then for the exporter for this is Loki, and we're calling it Loki. Yup. And then metrics is Prometheus. Okay, so that makes sense. I just got to keep glancing at work. We're technically within business hours, and if they reach out during business hours, I should be on it to respond. I guess we're gonna have to comb their source code to figure out what we can do for auth for an exporter that wouldn't be the TLS file. And, ooh, I guess here's the thing. Hotel collector config env bars. We would use that env bar. Yes, okay. And it's over in the actual official docs. Okay, cool. Yep, I just missed that part. You need to do double $sign to indicate a real $sign. Sure. Oh, so this is actually setting up auth for the receiver, which is different. Auth authenticator OAuth 2 client. So that's OTLP auth. I'm wondering if that actually works. I mean, worst case scenario, we can just try it, but I think I want to Google some of this. So yeah, instead of headers, could we just pass... Wait, where is it? Oh, wait, I thought there was a username password. I thought there was a username password version. Right, we see that's how they're configuring tempo. We could do this part, right? We could just hash it ourselves anyway. That's not a big deal. And yeah, I'm just wondering... Yeah, this is where some, like, editor tooling would be really important. But we can go look at their source. Okay, so as we look at this, we see a config struct. Alright, so we're in the Loki exporter there. This ends up being that list. Oh, and that's OpenTelemetry collector contrib. Alright, so exporter.go, let's look at what they define somewhere. Okay. I doubt it's here in the factory, but maybe. We probably want to go look at this. So // extension /off. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna see the authors stuff a bunch of times. So config auth.authentication. Maybe in this test is where we want to look at it, but hold up. Thought I just saw username password stuff. Nah, I think I just read it wrong. Test data config.yaml. Okay. So yeah, that's all just authors based. And what's up, Cloud the Dev? How you doing? So extension is the place that they're talking about a bit of auth. And we see auth right here. Oh, did our bot crash again? It did, I'm sorry. We just restarted it earlier. There you go, 0. One more try. I done did fixed it. But yeah, how you doing? Cloud the Dev, Mr. Sir. Feel like I haven't seen you for a while. If you missed it, I started at, 30 seconds. I'll just do it for you. My bad, my bad. I forgot about that. I forgot there was the 30-second timeout. Oh, we good. Never mind. Well, now I'm the one that did it a second time. I'm sorry. But yeah, Cloud the Dev. I started as a developer advocate at Get Kraken just last week. So yeah, you might have missed out on that, but I got a job again. Woo! My bank account is singing my praises. For sure. It's really happy about that. So yeah, I'm pumped on it. And it's my first developer advocate role. Well, now it's fun employment, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Sure, that works. Fun employment. Oh, it's such a good word. I forget who told me that. I think I learned it at, there was an event called Beers with Engineers here in Seattle like years ago. Definitely pre-COVID, but it was winding down before then anyway. Because the person who used to put it on, they were basically sales for Nutanix, which is like a cloud like storage provider for enterprise. And it was technically a no sales pitches kind of thing, and he would use the company card to like buy drinks for the first like couple hours, and he'd buy food and everything too, right? He'd spend maybe like $500 to $1,000, but he would actually leverage it into sales because, hey, he's paying for it. And I'm willing to bet he made major sales from those events because it was beers with engineers, not just software engineers, but like electrical engineers and like aerospace engineers and stuff, right? Types of places where, yeah, you could have a software dev wire something up to S3 at a normal software dev company, but at, you know, Blue Origin, your team is more concerned with aerospace, not writing some wrapper around S3, right? So yeah, like your power company probably doesn't have that many software developers, but still, you got storage needs. Insurance companies, less engineers at that, so probably they weren't showing up as much. But again, they have storage needs. So yeah, it was just really smart of him. Just once a month, beers with engineers, $500 to $1,000 of just buying people drinks and food, right? Typically like a charcuterie board or something. And bam, he's like making these connections and making sales from it. He ended up getting a job somewhere else and moving to California, and the event basically like fizzled out when the other people took over and didn't have the company card to use. But very cool dude. So yeah, I missed that event. I remember one of the engineers from Blue Origin, right? Like aerospace engineer. Just having great conversations with him about like zombie apocalypse and how he's preparing. Because he thinks about it all the time. I remember thinking like, well, yeah, zombie apocalypse, I'd just create like a nice like napalm flamethrower, right? You got like 30 yards of range on something like that instead of a gas flamethrower that only gets maybe 10 yards. You get yourself a nice napalm flamethrower and you're good to go. But then he and a couple other friends pointed out, but yeah, then you just have zombies that are on fire running after you. Yeah, that doesn't sound that great actually. They'll still be able to cover some ground before their muscles are burned up beyond use. So yeah, now they're not just zombies, now they're flaming zombies. Oh god, that sounds scary. It's a problem you created yourself. But yeah, so, I don't know, it's always just fun having these conversations. Because they're random, right? It was just a hangout sesh. Not required to be about tech in any way. Yeah. A lot of the tech meetups are still kind of like building back up after COVID. Yeah. Blue Origin as in Jeff Bezos' company. Yeah, for sure. Agreed, twofuls, right? They'll need to breathe, but if they're on fire, they might still be able to get oxygen, right? We've seen stuntmen be caught on fire for movies and be able to run around and do stuff all the time, right? So they can make some distance until it's no longer like feasible. And in that time, now you got a zombie that's on fire chasing you instead of just a zombie. Which does sound scarier. Wait, and hold up. We're talking about beers with engineers? We just got a like on a tweet from a thing called Bits and Brews, which is awesome. That's legit. That sounds like a cool meetup idea too. Oh, what was the other one? Tessa Marrow, who's like the head of DevRel at AppRite. She used to run an event that I'm forgetting the name of now. It wasn't Beers with Engineers, it was... Damn it, what was the name of that event? It was a really good one. It was super fun. I definitely spoke at it a few times. APIs and IPAs. That's also a great name. All right, so I guess here's the big thing. We need to source some values into our env. Right? So I need to source a .env file before we run our collector, right? Which I think means that we can comment this and do our auth headers this way. Right, so then this ends up being something like that. I think, hold on, we do, what brackets are they? Are they curlies? Curlies, yeah, okay. So env colon, and then the env you're looking for. So this would be env colon something. All right, sorry, got distracted by a thing. So I think this is a fun one. Without cheating, and who cares, right? What gets logged in that case? Anyone know? I'm pretty sure I know. I could be wrong though. But what do you think gets logged? And yeah, let's launch it up real quick. What does everyone think is going to get logged in this case? Right? What do you see on the terminal? What gets written to the console when this JavaScript executes? Anyone got any guesses? And there's nothing wrong with being wrong, so yeah, just throw out a guess. YouTube, that means you too. Yeah, real quick, let me shout out some follows. I missed a bunch of them. So Sahar, Arkson, Jafet, and Jerry. Welcome. All right, y'all give up. I believe... Oh, really? All right, hold on. We'll let people guess and chat about it. That is a good clip. I like that one. All right, y'all give up? I believe it ends up being resolve is not a function. It throws an error. Resolve is not a function because this promise was never actually executed. Right? You create the promise, but you didn't actually run it. So he is trolling a little bit. I'm gonna give a big thumbs up to it. Let me double check. Nope. .then is just a chain. You still need to execute it. Right, it's just a thing that gets chained when the promise is executed. The promise doesn't get executed when you call then. Yeah, so it doesn't. So basically, let resolve resolve is not a function. You've rarely seen promises initialized like that? That's actually the standard way of, like, promisifying a callback. So if we were to say, do something like this. Function foo.
Thanks for the support.
Oh, and hold on, we'll wait. Oh, it messed up your name. Hold on. We're gonna type it in. For some reason, it failed on it. YK Dojo.
Thanks for the support.
Oh, I might be over my quota. Hold on, let me go check my quota? Something ain't right. I broke something. No, I am worried about it. No, I appreciate the raid. Thank you so much. Let me at least do the shout out thing first. Someone did that shout out. Let me do this shout out. Yeah, interesting. So it did not like the single letters.
Thanks for the support. YK Dojo is a superhero with the unique ability to instantly understand and teach any martial art or combat style. With just a few moments of observation, YK Dojo can analyze and replicate the techniques of any fighter they come across.
So I had to type
Born
it in
a remote
as
village in Japan,
this.
YK Dojo was always fascinated by the martial arts.
For it to
They
actually
spent their
understand.
days studying and practicing various forms of combat, eventually mastering them all. One day, while defending their village from a group of bandits,
YK
Dojo was exposed to a strange energy that gave them their incredible abilities. From that day
and
on,
what's
they
up, Mama?
dedicated themselves
How you
to
doing out
using
there on
their
YouTube?
powers for
Missed
good,
you, sir.
traveling the world and teaching others the ways of the dojo. With their unmatched combat skills and dedication to justice, YK Dojo is a formidable superhero and a true master of the dojo.
Oh, and Rumpel, don't worry about that. Whenever you get it, you got it. No big deal. And yeah, YK, if you ever want like the audio clip of these things, all you gotta do is send me a message on Discord, and I will absolutely send you like the WAV file that they totally produce for us. So, totally up to you. No stress if not. This one actually pronounced the name better because I spelled it out phonetically instead of Eek Dojo. Yeah, what's up, Melogy? I mean, honestly, if you wanted to keep lurking on YouTube, go for it. I responded to you. Right? I did it pretty quick, didn't I? And I would actually prefer the lurk over there. Here is better? Okay, that's fine. I got you. That's okay. I do know some people have YouTube Premium instead of like Turbo or something, right? So if you have YouTube Premium, then you don't get any ads while I'm streaming. No, it's totally up to you, Melogy. Like, yeah, no stress. Don't use up your bandwidth. Not a big deal. I have heard people say that if you're on mobile, YouTube actually has like a shorter delay. So if you're on mobile, Twitch is typically like 30 seconds. Whereas if you're on mobile with YouTube, I've heard it's like way quicker. So could be an option. Up to you. GBS Joseph? Nah, sorry, this is not that kind of stream. I apologize, but nah. Yeah, no worries, Melody. I just wanted to throw that out there. I have heard other people say that, yeah, the mobile timer is better on YouTube, right? Or the delay. For desktop, maybe YK Dojo. But for mobile, if you're using the Twitch app, I believe you're like automatically 30 seconds delayed. But mobile is a very specific use case. Yep, no worries, GBS Joseph. So yeah, keep in mind, like YK, like it's purely the mobile part, right? Twitch mobile is easily 30 seconds and sometimes more. And then the bread's saying that YouTube is actually lower latency all the time. Yeah, exactly, YK. So if you're ever chatting with someone and it feels like it's taking them forever to respond, they're probably on mobile. Like, as far as Twitch is concerned. Just one of those, like, little, like, things that you kind of, like, learn over time. If you're on mobile, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for a dual stream setup. Yeah, because Twitch doesn't care about you dual streaming anymore. So, yeah, pump it out, multi-stream as much as you want. It used to be against the TOS. Now, it's totally fine for TOS. So I totally recommend doing the dual stream. Oh, all too swift. That's a good caveat. On iOS, it's 30 seconds. On Android, it's fine. Okay. The people I've chatted with were iOS users, I'm pretty sure. So that's a good caveat, too. That's a good point. Yeah, 30 seconds is really bad. So you're on desktop right now, and YouTube's ahead by like 3 or 4 seconds. That's crazy. Yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, I know that under Snowman. I have mine set as low as humanly possible, right? It's really nice for streams that, like, do competitive things because it's harder to, like, snipe them. So I watch a Madden streamer who gets sniped all the time, right? So he has a bit of a delay. He won't see your comment for a little bit. You should definitely do it, YK, for sure. Yeah, multi-stream. There's a bigger community. You're going to have more viewers, and it's going to grow better within the category here on Twitch. But I think you actually have like a broader reach on YouTube, right? So that's another thing to consider as well. And you already have like a large YouTube presence. So that could actually like lend itself to getting more viewership there too. I'd say even check out maybe like Twitter streaming. I've seen some people really like doing that well. Like Theo has been killing it with that one. Twitter streaming's terrible. I mean, I've seen people doing it. No one talks. That's fine. Like, dude. It's like a Twitter space. You're not expecting everyone watching a Twitter space to talk. Nah, man. It's just another platform for someone to consume your stuff while they're doing something else. For the most part, right? So yeah, like the main idea would be you treat your like Twitch stream as the main stream, and then as like just a multicast. Twitch is just another place to multicast to. And yeah, multicasting, restreaming, dual streaming, all interchangeable words, for sure. I'm planning on doing Twitter streams eventually when I figure out how. Someone needs to post a good blog post about it. And someone was actually in here chatting about how they wanted to write a blog post. So, one of these days. But yeah, I didn't even ask. What were you up to on your stream today, YK? So Android, there's no big difference between Twitch and YouTube. Okay. Yeah, all right, that makes a lot of sense. I think the people that have said it's 30 seconds, they've been on iOS. It might also depend on like the data center or access point you're connecting to, right? Like the tower you connect to. In some cases, if you're in like a heavily populated area, your stream might actually get like cached, and then you get 30 seconds of it, right? Mainly because like the telecom provider wants to limit the amount of data they're downloading in real time, and they may like actually proxy and cache that data for other people to like grab it, which means that they're only shipping data from the access point to you rather than, or to many people, rather than many people fetching it through their main pipeline. So there may actually be like mobile concerns for that. If you're on Wi-Fi, maybe you don't have that problem. But if you're on cell tower, maybe you do. That might also be a thing. Yeah, I'd be curious. Melogy, again, don't use up your data too much. Might be just worth a test to see if that changes your latency. iOS, there is a difference already, but I am wondering if, like, even on Android, it's actually down to your telecom and how they actually cache data at the access point. And that might be different. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating, but I know for a fact that providers cache commonly accessed things at the access point. Right? Typically with lower bandwidth things, for sure. So yeah, all connected on the same Wi-Fi. If you were to switch to like cell phone provider data, you might actually see different things. That's all I'm getting at. Because they're very aggressive about caching things at the access point. So if you're on your phone, you might be getting like slightly delayed data because they want to serve the same data at everybody. So yeah. Anyway, and sorry, you were talking about stress management for techies and prepping for another talk. Nice. Yeah, I'd love to chat more about stress management techniques. I use whiskey and legal marijuana where I live. That's the cheat code. If you live somewhere where those aren't legal, ooh, how do you do that? But okay, so what we're doing here on this stream, for everyone joining from the raid, etc., let me give you a little bit of context. Ooh, we saw this fun tweet. Anyone that does JavaScript, what is the result of this? We don't need to keep you on pins and needles. The gist is you get resolve is not defined because the whole thing throws immediately when it does this part. Because the promise that you see here doesn't actually get executed. So yeah, the resolve reject, they're both undefined, right? And resolve is not a function ends up being the error that's thrown. I'm like 1,000% sure on this at this point. Because instead, if you wanted get deferred to be called that actually did any of this, right? Chaining a dot then is actually not initiating the function. It's actually just giving you like this chain of operations that only get executed when the base promise is executed. So yeah, this whole thing, like new promise dot then, never actually gets run. If he had thrown two parentheses at the end of this, right, at the end right there on line 6 or whatever it is, then you would actually see some stuff. So yeah, kind of a fun tweet. I like how someone in the chat's like, why you trolling? The answer? Because I've lost control of my life. Yeah, I'm gonna like every single thing about it. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, back to the thing we are doing on this stream today and right now. We are putting in some research time and a little bit of effort to dig into and understand OpenTelemetry and how you could spin up OpenTelemetry on your own in some way. Our first step is setting up a collector, which is really like its own self-contained service. That collector then proxies data to some type of like data provider or data like storage endpoint. So maybe Prometheus or a whole bunch of other places where you need to push this data to a database that can then get pulled by something like Grafana or something like that, right? So the collector takes in your reporting from various places, right? Think maybe in a microservice architecture, you might have one collector that's actually pulling in data from all sorts of microservices that add their own like metadata to identify them. And then you would then proxy that data to some other storage place where your Grafana would pull that storage to give you nice pretty graphs about what's going on. And things like Datadog and Highlight and other providers make a bunch of this way easier because you don't need to spin up your own collector. You don't need to spin up the storage for this data, right? It just goes from your application directly to them. So that's where the value add of someone wrapping OpenTelemetry for you would be useful. But in this case, I want to do it the hard way to understand the value that the other companies are bringing to the table. So we're gonna spin up our collector. We're configuring an exporter of that data to OTLP for tempo, which is for trace data, for Loki, which is for log data, and for Prometheus, which is for metrics data, right? And then from there, we just output this stuff to them, and we should be able to point, or technically, because we're shipping to Grafana directly, Grafana would then be able to visualize that stuff just for us. If you were going to do this in another way without Grafana's like endpoints here, which we don't see right now, like this one right here, without Grafana's tempo US Central 1 endpoint, you'd have to spin up something else that actually takes in that data and then allows Grafana to query it, which is just way more work, but that's part of like the thing that you get from using a hosted service. They save you all of this like rigmarole. After we get the collector and Grafana all wired up, that's actually just the first part because we need to figure out how to grab good metrics and logs and things from our application. And the whole point of what we're doing is how do we do that with Next.js? I don't know yet because we haven't gotten that far. I've done a little bit of research, but not enough to actually like say. And then after all that's said and done, this is eventually going to be sponsored content for Highlight.io. As long as still, things still continue and they're still stoked on the idea of all of it. If it all falls through, I can just make this content on my own YouTube channel. Screw it, right? The value we're putting into this research is beneficial to me, bare minimum. And I'd like to make it beneficial to Highlight as well. So yeah, the end goal will be at the end of this like process, we see how easy Highlight makes it instead of all of this other stuff we had to do. And then eventually that becomes a YouTube video for their YouTube channel, theoretically. Again, nothing's been signed. It's very loosey-goosey. I'm not going to be extremely bummed in any way if the sponsored content falls through. I still think they're awesome, especially because they were willing to work with me before I started my job recently. They were willing to do like a part-time thing just to like help me out. Without even like knowing me really. So stand up dudes. Like really stoked. But again, this is for potentially sponsored content. So keep that in mind. There is definitely like a money motive for this. But even if the money motive falls through, I'm not gonna reflect negatively on Highlight, and I'll just use the content for my own channel. I'm hoping that it goes through because, I like money, right? But okay, so let me go use the restroom. I'll be right back. I will see you in just a second. is medieval times! So yeah, how's everyone doing today? Right? Nice and quick and easy. Y'all having a great day? Any fun plans for the week? Anything like that? You're doing okay, not great, not terrible. I mean, could be worse. I don't know what that means, babe, right? But no news is good news. That's fine. Yeah, that's no worries. I haven't seen Chernobyl yet. So yeah, makes sense. Oh, hold on. Let me look at one thing. Oh. Sorry, had to reply to a comment at work real quick. Pour another beverage. And yeah. So, our plan here is I need to get some environment variables set. I need to basically pass some strings to base 64 to get our authorization headers here. And then I think we should be good to go. So yeah, that's going to be our next step. I need to start setting these environment variables. Gotta make sure I don't leak nothing. Technically, Grafana doesn't have my credit card or anything, so even if I leaked, probably wouldn't be that big a deal, but I don't want the account shut off. So yeah, definitely don't want to leak a key. But it wouldn't cost me anything monetarily, which is nice. Ooh, putting some pressure on yourself to finish some deliverables this week. Okay. Is that the mobile delay kicking in there, Bob? I'm kidding. that was a while ago. I asked that question before I went pee. No, I'm kidding, by the way. Just having fun. Oh, nah, no worries there, MJ. Yeah, I appreciate you. I like how you called me riffing instead of griffing. That's interesting. Are you on mobile? Was that an autocorrect? What's up, Kebab? How you doing? And yeah, totally fine. Bob even does that over on the gaming stream. I know, because I asked him a question like a minute or two after he said something yesterday. Crickets. Which is fine. I get it. It's okay. So to you, I am riffing, not griffing. All right, that works. If I were to do a podcast, it'd probably be riffing with griffing. Exactly. Yeah, totally. It is pretty catchy. Yeah, I like it too. It really does. Yeah, for sure. We've also got the channel Griffing and Chill. I think the cooking channel would end up being Griffing and Grill. If we ever get big enough, a channel only for sponsored content would be Griffing and Shill, right? S-H-I-L-L. Nailed it. If I start a channel about writing, it'd be Griffing and Quill, right? Like a writing quill. Yeah, damn right. My photography channel would be Griffing and Still. I know, yeah, I'm a font of ideas. Ooh, the exercise channel, yeah, Griffing and Treadmill. Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing, I am fundamentally opposed to an exercise channel. That's a personal thing. You'll never see me be a fitness influencer. I am actually, like, morally opposed to the idea of fitness influencers in general. And I use the word morally because there's nothing unethical about it, depending on how you operate it. But morally, I would have a huge problem. A drinking channel, Griffing and Swill. That actually doesn't sound bad. That actually sounds good, like a whiskey tasting channel? Griffing and Swill? Ooh, yeah, that'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah. Hiking channel, Griffing and Hill? Ooh, Griffing and Spills? Yeah, so Bob's actually watched my gaming stream. He knows how relevant that is. I have like 5, maybe 6 keyboards that don't work right now because I need to rinse them out from spilling on them. Some jerk keeps spilling on my keyboards. If I ever catch him, me and him are gonna have some words. We happen to just never be in the same place at the same time. No, because, like, ghosts are pale. Meanwhile, like, when I start getting it in me, my cheeks get flushed. So it might be the demon version of me. Hey, Tired Kebab, thank you for the follow. Yeah, appreciate you. Welcome. It's definitely not the current version of me. Yeah, for sure. You keep breaking those French presses? Yeah, lame. You need to get yourself a German press. Just better engineering. Ooh, AeroPress? I've never heard of an AeroPress. I remember Melky used to do the French press thing. I remember him saying he wanted to quit coffee too. So, yeah, does Melky drink coffee on stream anymore? He streams so early, I haven't caught one of his streams for a long time. Now that I got a job, I might actually be able to check it out. Because I'm like, you know, getting a proper sleep schedule again. Instead of waking up at the crack of noon. But okay, so let's keep going a bit. In your personal experience, the IKEA French press is quite fragile. Maybe there are some better models elsewhere. Oh, wait. Bob, that's right. You're in Sweden, right? I believe you're legally required to buy from IKEA at that point, right? So I get it. That makes sense. It's the only store in Sweden. Oh, you're in Malaysia? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that. Are you Swedish? Or am I just mixing you up with totally different people? I might just be mixing you up with someone else. To which I am just sorry. My bad. Malaysia, Sweden. I mean, tomato. Right? Yeah, I get it. My bad. But no, like, Bob, you're not native to Malaysia, right? Like, you're an expat from whatever country you're originally from, right? I think we've discussed this. And if this is getting on the order of doxing, we can just drop it. That's fine. You are Malaysian? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally mixing you up with someone else. Someone who's also, like, a consistent regular elsewhere. So yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry. Like, on the other stream. Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. Now I'm trying to remember who I'm mixing you up with. But it's gone forever. My brain won't remember that. Maybe if I see him chat. Or like see someone say they actually live in Sweden. It's definitely a person that asked Joannis, oh, hey, are you from Sweden too? Or something like that. And I think, like, the problem is, I think y'all use, like, the same color for your name, right? That, like, that slightly off green. Right? Like the slightly yellowish green. I think that might be where my communication came. Or, like, my confusing, like, thought on it. You can absolutely change the color. Yep. Yes, so if you go to... Oh, I don't remember where. Because I see, like, the mod view, right? Switch to non-mod settings, and if you go to chat appearance, that's where you can change, like, the... Oh, no. Sorry, chat appearance is everyone else's colors. Hold on. I know there's a way to set your own color. I thought it was in chat appearance, but I don't see it now, so I'm unsure now. You can definitely change the color of your name now. So basically, then it's consistently the same color all the time, whereas if you don't set it, it just gets randomized every time you hop into chat. But real quick, Ched, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Cloud. Yeah, if you find a good way to set that, let me know, because I'm totally missing it for some reason.
Thanks for the support.
Thank you, MJ. I appreciate you. What do you mean, shush? I'm just thanking you. Thanks for the gifted subs, dude. Appreciate you. You were actually preempting me. You knew I was going to say you didn't have to do that. Well, I didn't say it this time, okay? You had to do that. I'm just having fun. All right, so real quick, though, I do need to manually trigger these because the bot blew it. So real quick, Shoku Panu? Let's try that one. I gotta start doing, like, phonetic spelling for these. Shoku. I think I have to refresh. Under Prime Gaming? Really? Oh, so is it like a premium thing? That'd be weird.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support. Show Kyo Pan Ido, a superhero with the unique ability to communicate with and control all types of birds. With a simple whistle or call, Shokuo Pan EW can summon flocks of birds to aid them in times of need. Their origin story begins in a remote village, where they discovered their connection with birds after rescuing an injured bell. From that day on, Shokuo Pan EW's powers grew stronger, and they became known as a protector of the skies and the environment. With their trusty sidekick, a majestic eagle named Sky, Shokuo Pan Ido soars through the air, defending innocent and upholding justice.
All right, that one wasn't great. That one was pretty weak. All right, sorry, Shokupanu. Yeah, we got to figure out a better way to figure that one out. Gavia Arctica.
Thanks for the support. Gavia Arctica, a superhero with the power of superhuman strength and the ability to communicate with and control birds. With these powers, they soar through the skies on the backs of their avian allies, using their strength to protect the innocent and their bird-like agility to dodge incoming
Birds aren't
attacks.
real.
Their origin story begins on a remote Arctic island, where they were raised by a colony of migratory birds. Through years of observation and interaction, they gained their unique abilities and a deep connection to the natural world. As a superhero, Gavia Arctica uses their powers for the good of all, never shying away from a challenge and always striving to make the world a better place. With their fierce determination and unyielding spirit, they are a true force to be reckoned with.
You were raised by migratory birds, not penguins. Some bird that migrates to Antarctica? Or to the Arctic? What bird migrates to the Arctic that isn't a penguin? Because penguins aren't migratory. Or are they? All right, so we got to do OG Purple Daddy now.
Thanks for the support. OG Purple Daddy. A superhero with a love for all things purple and a fierce dedication to being the ultimate daddy figure to those in need.
The
Their origin
ultimate
story
daddy
begins with a freak
figure.
accident in a purple hydrogen power plant, granting them the ability to manipulate and control purple
Whoa,
energy.
keep it safe for work, lady.
Their powers include the ability to create powerful purple force fields, the power to shoot purple energy blasts, the unique ability to fly using purple energy propulsion. Despite their intimidating presence, OG Purple Daddy is a kind-hearted and nurturing superhero, always looking out for the little guy. They use their powers to protect their city from harm and inspire others to be the best versions of themselves.
So
With their
Four Wheel,
iconic
real
purple and
quick.
gold suit,
Penguins
OG
can
Purple Daddy is a
migrate without
beloved figure
flying.
in the superhero community,
Migration
known for
is
their
not
unwavering
a
dedication to justice
flight-specific
and their
thing.
infectious positive attitude.
They can swim. Penguins can swim. I don't know if you know that. All right, real quick. Joy Query. I gotta type these in because the bot blew it.
Thanks for the support. Joy Query is a superhero with the power to find joy and happiness in even the darkest of places. With a single touch, Joy Query can sense the deepest desires and unspoken emotions of those around them, bringing light and positivity to their lives. Their origin story begins when they were just an ordinary person,
African or
struggling with their
European?
own demons
Yeah,
and hardships.
exactly, Saklo. Yeah, we know the
But one day they
reference.
stumbled
doing
upon an
something.
ancient artifact that granted them the power to sense and amplify joy. From that day on, Joy Query dedicated their life to spreading happiness and positivity, using their powers to help those in need and inspire hope in even the most desperate of situations. Despite facing many challenges and obstacles along the way, Joy Query remains a beacon of hope and positivity, always reminding us that there is always something to be joyful about.
Hell yeah, Joy Query. Ooh. In the darkest of times, you mean a legacy code base that hasn't been written on for 20 years? There it is. Emperor penguins do migrate. All right, there we go. Nailed it. Okay, so yeah, it is penguins. Touché. Penguins, like emperor penguins, are technically a migratory bird. You learn something new every day, especially in this stream. All right, and then one more, Bezzy 2K. Let's see if the bot gets this one.
Thanks for the support.
Nope.
Thanks for the support. Daisy2K, a superhero with the power of quick thinking and strategic planning. They can analyze any situation in the blink of an eye and come up with a plan to overcome any obstacle. Their origin story began when they were struck by a mysterious meteorite, giving them their unique abilities.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
They use their powers to help those in need and protect their city from harm. With their quick wit and strategic mind, Daisy2K is a formidable force for good. They are often seen wearing a suit of armor made of advanced technology, complete with a helmet that displays real-time data and analysis. They are a true hero, always ready to save the day.
Alright, that one's pretty weak. Yeah, there's like a couple phrases we keep hearing like over and over and over again, such as with their quick wit and blank, right? A force for good. The greater good, right? Like, yeah, the bot is actually getting really obvious in its patterns, which kind of hints at the fact that, like, yeah, like, are we worried about AI? Nah, man. It can't even not sound like AI. Lame. Devin is coming for us? No. Devin is coming for us in the same way that interns are coming for us. I don't think anyone's been worried about an intern taking their job. We should change it up. Yeah, and imagine people as super villains instead. Interns scare you for totally different reasons. Not because you're worried about them taking your job, because you're worried about them creating more work for you, technically, right? So wait, yeah. What did you just mention, Soglo, Mr. Sir? Have you seen these new skeleton panda sea squirt? So weird, you keep thinking they're AI? I don't know what you're talking about. If interns don't scare you, they're not doing their job right. Ooh, that's a good way. Never worked in an office either, so that's probably why. Oh, and you were saying you've never dealt with interns? Is that it? Sorry? Never worked with interns. I mean, I've been fully remote and dealt with interns. Technically, University of Washington, the insurance company I used to work with, totally ended up getting like interns from local like colleges and universities like UW, like, you know, once, maybe twice a year. I've worked with a good one, a good couple. Again, they're interns, so you're not like judging them in the same way. So no, like every intern I've worked with was great, you know? But I would not want to merge in code they wrote to the core, like, thing. Technically, interns aren't allowed to work on production code. That's actually against the law here in the US. Interns are only allowed to work on internal tools that are not part of your production code. So companies that are misusing interns are actually breaking the law. It is a fine line, but if it's something that customers touch, if it's like your public-facing product, etc., they should not have any hand or say in that at all. But it is a fine line. Like, how do you justify that? Sure. The fact that you have to question it means that the company's probably in the wrong. But here's the thing, Space Case. Intern is not a job. Intern is not a job. So here's the thing, Bob, right? Kube Proxy could have been written by an intern early, right? And it was only used as a proof of concept or something, right? The thing we see now was most likely after massive, massive work to make it production ready. That's actually the number one use case for intern work. Let them do R&D style, like, maybe it never touches the world. And then after that, you put in effort to make it actually, like, production ready. But they should not be working on stuff that you have already in production. And I think that's the big point there, Bob. No. So it's not a job. You get a stipend. If you're paying them as an actual employee, then you're good to go. Most places where you've done intern stuff, or where I've seen interns be worked, they get a stipend that is basically less than minimum wage. They should be paid. Unpaid internships do exist, but it's usually not like a full-time salary kind of role. It's usually not even hourly at that point. There's just a stipend of, hey, here's how much you're going to get per month, and it's not anything to live on. But it's a little bit of extra cash, which is nice. Yeah, here in the US, it's different. I mean, even then, you can do an internship that does pay them like a job. That does exist, and those people are totally fine to do production work. The thing that is not okay is if you're doing unpaid internships or stipend-based internships, and they're actually like treating it like a real job. That is not okay. That is where they're massively pushing back on like what is actually valid. And yeah, a company I used to work for totally did it wrong. It was a stipend internship, but they were touching production code. They should not be allowed to do so. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, 4-wheel. Yep. Yeah, unpaid internships is like the worst of all worlds. And yeah, Space Case, like that's a company that's going to get shut down here in the US at least, because they probably don't have the money to fight the litigation or the fines that would be imposed by doing it. So, like Daniel, if an unpaid internship is typically the type of thing where you would expect them to just do work on some internal project that doesn't have any like say on production. So one good example would be like, oh yeah, could they make some like internal app for accounting or sales or whatever to just track things in some way? Sure. Right? Like, that's a thing. That's totally fine. Oh, and yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, I appreciate that, too. If they really wanted to do that, then that's a job, and you need to hire them as such. Right? You need to pay them a salary. It doesn't matter what they want. Interns want all sorts of things. Too bad. This is all we can do. Take it or leave it. If a company's doing it right, yeah, the intern is not touching production. The goal is to get them familiar and understanding of what the corporate dev lifecycle is for a project, etc., and doing so in a non-business valuable way. Should not expect it, but should allow it. Again, just Daniel, think about it. Like, how easy would it be to abuse that? And that's why it's like such a rule. For every one company that does it right and lets people do it, there'd be 5 more that force them to do production code. Whereas instead, if you just set the guideline like, hey, they don't touch production, it safeguards the intern at that point. No, I get it, MJ, and I appreciate it. I think these conversations are good, though. Like, regardless of how much whiskey you got in you or whatever you're drinking. So yeah, just saying, man, like, you know, I don't consider this conversation that intense. Is it more serious than we typically get? Yeah, maybe, but it's just a conversation, man. Touche. Yeah, I get that part. That's fine. No worries. I could tell by the gifted subs. Wink. But yeah, real quick before we get too far. So MJ, yes, I am a snowboarder. You've seen the clips, so it's not a big deal. If anyone wants to see my old snowboard clips, I got some links for you if you want. No big deal. Anyone who has not seen my Sponsor Me video from 2006, I'll get you the link, and it's only 3 minutes, so I can just play it here on stream. All right, let's do it. Okay, my bad, MJ. I was just making a joke. I'm sorry. There you go. There you go. So yeah, this is me from literally 2006. This is basically the year I got sponsored. Right? In the winter clips, it's the first free snowboard I got. I'm still wearing bindings I didn't get for free. In the summertime clips, which you can tell by all the dirt around, that is like, you know, boots board, or sorry, just bindings and board. I didn't get boots for free until like a couple years later. This summer I did get free outerwear though, which was kind of cool. So yeah, pretty fun, right? Yeah, that was like right when I first started getting sponsored like free gear. Within the years that ensued after that, before I broke my collarbones and dislocated my shoulder, I ended up getting free energy drinks, free goggles, free beanies, free outerwear from time to time, free boots, board and bindings are a given, free wax, free gloves. Yeah, there was like, it never lined up in the same year that I was like fully like free gear from head to toe. Outerwear is actually the hardest one to get. Unless you work for, or you ride for a company like Burton that makes everything. If they make everything, then yeah, you're gonna get like free head to toe. But Rome only did outerwear for maybe like 2 years. Yeah, collarbone sucks. Yeah, I've broken both my collarbones, and it's not great. Yeah. So if you're in the U.S. during the summer, Timberline Lodge, right down at Mount Hood, Oregon. I've been in that pool before. Timberline Lodge is the place where you can snowboard during the summer. Snow is a mystery to you, so yeah, makes sense. I get it. But yeah, because I used to ride summers at Mount Hood and winters at Stevens Pass for somewhat like 10 years straight, I would ride 200 plus days a year. Let's just say 150 days a year. Whereas most people are lucky if they get 10 days per season. So yeah, I've basically snowboarded an order of magnitude more than most people who do it a lot, like by normal numbers. Which makes it obvious, like if I didn't get free gear from snowboarding that much, man, I'd be really bad at it, huh? Yeah, spine sounds terrible. Clavicle breathing, not so much, but if you need to sneeze while you got a broken collarbone, that might be one of the worst things. Not even the pain, just simply like the anticipation of the pain. Yeah, the clavicle is not hollow, but it is fibrous. Right? There's no like marrow in the clavicle. It's like a bird bone at that point. I guess bird bones do have marrow, but collarbones don't, as far as I know. Pickleball? No, I have a shoulder that dislocates. Can't do it. I played pickleball in high school, though. Yeah. I was like... In high school, there was a class called Badminton and Pickleball, or something like Net Sports, or some junk. I forget the name. But yeah, there was like a tournament-style, like, round-robin thing of, like, the winners get towards one end, and the losers kind of filter towards the other end, and you end up competing against people of your same level. I was consistently within like the first 1 or 2 slots, right? They would randomize where you start, but we'd work our way up to being within the first 1 or 2 slots of badminton or pickleball. I was actually pretty damn good. But I have a shoulder that dislocates now. If you haven't seen this clip, yeah, I've dislocated on stream and had to put it back in the socket. That's how often I dislocate. I can just relocate it myself, because I won't let a single human being try and do that for me. I don't know if you know this. If you dislocate and you have to go to the hospital or even like ski patrol at a resort, if you dislocate backwards, they will lay you on the table, like stomach down, with your arm draped over, still out of socket, and they'll have the heaviest person they have on staff grab your arm and yank down. I'm not letting a human being do that to me. I will grab my arm by the wrist and work it back in. Damn, appendix tried to kill you twice? Didn't they remove it after the first time? How does an appendix try to kill you twice? Nightmare material. No, thank you. You don't have to, but you can if you want. Wait a minute. This person doesn't follow me. Alright, I might just remove that follow. There's only a handful of people I'm okay with following on Twitter that don't follow me back. And I just noticed someone that ain't one of those people. All right, so we need to name these ENV bars, though. This one's gonna be tempo auth. Sure. This one's gonna be Prometheus auth. And this one right here is Loki auth. The appendix, when it ruptured, put a hole in your intestines. So you weren't sure what the pain was, and you left it long enough that it fully ruptured. Dude, that's brutal. That's super gnarly. Because normally you end up getting pain, and if it's in a specific spot, you can diagnose it and you know. It presented itself like it was the flu? Like you didn't have localized pain in one part of your abdomen? Oh. Gnarly. Okay. Yeah, that's super gnarly. Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Dude. I've only ever heard of people saying that they just get like extremely like sharp pain in like one area. Well, you just unlocked a new fear. Good job. I think my body's trying to kill me. Right, exactly, 4-wheel, right? If it presents as the flu, right, you just might try and sleep it off, and then you die in your sleep. So yay, new fears. Dude, that is gnarly. I'm sorry, man, but I'm glad you're still here. That's huge. Whoa, what? Dude, if y'all don't know, if you're trying to like make yourself a content creator, etc., I know it's not like crazy numbers, cause whatever, but let me just shout this out. You should be posting to Twitter or wherever the viewers are for the short tail. For the long tail of a post, you should absolutely be posting to LinkedIn. I got 1,600 impressions on my job announcement last week. Right? The Twitter post fell off within like 2 days, right? I stopped getting any notifications from Twitter after 2 days. And as far as views are concerned, they basically stopped after 2 days. Whereas the LinkedIn long tail, we're only a week from it. I'm still going to continue getting views with like a couple weeks from now on that same post because of how like LinkedIn does their feed aggregation. So yeah, 1,600 impressions on my post to LinkedIn, which isn't massive, but man, like it's bigger than most of my other posts on LinkedIn. But the biggest thing to remember is that like the long tail, right? Your post is more relevant for longer on LinkedIn than Twitter. Twitter's like, yeah, it's been 2 days. No one's gonna see this, right? It's drinking from the fire hose at that point. It's really underappreciated. Yeah, like LinkedIn is the #1 long tail platform, right? Twitter is short tail. LinkedIn is long tail. Dropped animation frames, I bet React did this. That's a good one. Ryan Florence makes good tweets. I bet he and I would get along until I started swearing. Anyway, Twitter and LinkedIn can both fuck right off. Yeah, I get that, MJ. Again, if you're not a content creator, you shouldn't care about anything I'm saying right now, as far as like Twitter and LinkedIn go. Yeah, who cares, man? If you are a content creator, you should actually care. Right? That's the caveat there. If you're not a content creator, who cares? Don't use them. Not a big deal. I think that's a good tweet. Nailed it. There it is. All right, let's get back to actually doing code stuff. Archer, what the fuck are you talking about? And I've been trying to curb my swearing, but Archer, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, MJ. I appreciate that. But we do need to call out a possible spammer / troll. Uh-huh. Been following for 11 days. Made 3 comments. One of them was Comic Sans. Yeah, Archer, you're trolling, right? You are. You know it. How was what you said relevant to anything we were talking about? Nope, not at all relevant? Yeah, I get it. So you are trolling. Again, that sounds like trolling. Exactly, 4-wheel. I'm giving them one more chance. They are definitely trolling. Just because they said nope, not at all, doesn't mean shit. You got one chance to justify your actions there, Archer, and then I got one button I can press and not have to deal with your BS again. It's pretty chill. I really like it. Right? You got one more comment chance to justify your actions. If not, easiest ban of the day. And why did we need your song lyric as a comment? Right? You're not listening. You're not paying attention to what we're actually talking about. You just felt like spamming us with something. How do you not understand that that's literally trolling? How is there this cognitive dissonance in your brain about that? You don't understand what spam actually is. Goodbye. You can use the unban request system if you actually want to chat here like a human being. Yeah, exactly, Rumple. I gave them a chance, though, right? Because some viewers just don't get it. No, they are trolling. It wasn't repeated, so it's not spam. That is not the definition of spam. Yeah, exactly, Steel Toad. If their first message is that bad, they should probably wait for the second or third. That's the thing they should probably just do as a pattern, right? Ignore the first thought they have and maybe go with the second or third. Prime even has that comment, right? Your first thought is usually the most intrusive one, right? Not the most relevant one. Until you've trained your brain better. /20th, 30th, you know, tomato, tomato. It's a fuzzy number. Double checking Twitter over there. As you make your way across the Pacific Northwest, what kind of whiskey should you bring? Don't bring a whiskey. Let's just go grab a drink. That's a totally different thing, man. No, I get it. Right? If you do make it, let's just go out to a bar and hang out. Like, no gift necessary. I'll buy you a drink. How about that? I spent so many years as a snowboard bum, broke and not able to buy anybody drinks, that I tend to buy drinks nowadays. For other people. Because I'm like paying it forward towards like me being broke back in the day. So yeah, I'll buy you a drink. How about that? Right? Just let me know ahead of time. Because, yeah, I do think traveling will be a thing for me more and more as we go. So yeah, I want to make sure that I don't like, you know, you're like, hey, I'm in town today. And I'm like, I'm not. You know, all right? Like, we can try and plan around it. So yeah, if you make it to Seattle, this goes for any viewer. Let's hang out. Let's chill. That'd be awesome. we'll see. All right, so this is the big bit. I need to go grab these values. Let's at least do that part. Let's at least do that part. Seattle, then Port Townsend? Ooh, yeah, like out on the peninsula. It's beautiful out there. It's really nice. Yeah, that's some of the best like beach and like coastline you'll ever find, like out on the peninsula. Right? The temperate rainforest is out there too. Right? The only rainforest in North America. Yeah, it's good stuff over there, for sure. So yeah, the Port Townsend thing. I think you'll like it. So the part we care about, we're at least gonna set these. So that is our Prometheus endpoint. Yeah, I know, Twofuls. It's kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, it's more about, like, me as a streamer. These are things I basically encourage. I could ignore all these things. I could do all sorts of stuff to keep us focused and on task. I stream too much for that to be a thing. Now, granted, here's the biggest thing, Twofuls. I stream more than any other, like, programming stream you watch, right? Which means I am much less focused on getting stuff done. Because we get stuff done anyway, right? I get so much done that I need these moments of, like, hanging out and chatting. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I understand that it's like a slightly different thing. Compared to other, like, programming Twitch streamers, yeah, we get randomized more than most. Sometimes a viewer's fault, sometimes my fault. Maybe more than most streams in general? That seems weird to me. But you're not wrong. I guess it depends. Like, just chatting streams are random as hell. Are you saying I'm more random than just chatting streams? Because then I might get a little self-conscious. All right. Okay. Whew. You had me sweating for a second. All right, so Prometheus we got set up. Let's do this part. We need a URL for that one too that we definitely can't show on stream. I think it's just this. Yep. I'm not sure how much of this we actually end up needing. I'll leave that commented section for sure. So I think we've got these endpoints set, I think, for tomorrow when we're just starting out. That'll be a better time for like all of this like auth BS and me setting the keys and doing some of that base64 encoding and all that, right? Because we're already at like 6 p.m. I know it's a shorter stream than normal because I ended up having to do work until like 2 today. Might take a minute or 2 years. Yeah, nah, no worries there, MJ. Honestly, yeah, just let me know, man. I'd love to follow your stream. I'm gonna follow you right now. How about that? Now you kind of have to stream. Oh wait, I already follow you. Well, yeah, now you have to stream. But yeah, no worries, no stress. I do think we're at a good stopping point for today. Did we get as much done as we wanted? No, we chatted for a good half of the stream, but we actually figured out like the config that we needed. And I need to like add stuff to it from here. Right? And the stuff I need to add that I'm not sure we can do, right? I'm just guessing that we can do like the headers authorization thing for all of these. And maybe we try it tomorrow and it totally fails. Right? Could totally be a thing. But I think we're at a good stopping point for today of we did enough initial discovery. We went and looked at source code and everything to see if we could do headers authorization for these things. And we didn't see anything that said we couldn't. But I think there's, you know, some actual like trial and error to be done. And if our headers authorization stuff doesn't work for some of these, like it should work for tempo, because that was the example we saw. But for these, right, like Loki and Prometheus, we're just hoping it works. And that's a totally different thing. So yeah, that's for us to figure out tomorrow, I think. That said, who's streaming right now that we should totally go raid? Rox is streaming? We're raiding Rox. He just started 9 minutes ago. This is perfect timing. This is the best timing. I'm using Chrome for some things and Firefox for my like daily driver. So yeah, we're gonna go raid Rox Codes. We see Ian Alex Hart. We see a bunch of people over there. I don't think we've seen Ian Alex Hart here for a long time. That's fine. But I see him over there at least. I see some other people that are chill. We see Denzel. We see Ryan K. Hawkins, who we haven't seen here for a while either. But, you know, that's fine. Yeah, Firefox is good until it isn't. I would say use Firefox whenever you can, just to support anything other than Chrome. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta use Chrome. And I get it. I totally get it. YouTube, I'm gonna end stream. Thank you all for watching. We had a really great time. Great viewership and just hanging out. So, see you later, YouTube. I'll be over on Gaming Stream, Griffing and Chill on Twitch. See you there soon.